Don't die on me, CPU. Don't die on me. Okay. Supposedly YouTube's up too. Oh, it is. Whoops. Okay. I think it's working.
Hey! Where?
Hey, Buckaroo Brogan, how's it going? How's everything? How is life? Which one are you in? Where are you at? Wait, is it showing? The answer is yes. Whatever the answer. Okay. So you're on. Did I accidentally? Oh, you saw that? That wasn't even last weekend. It was earlier this week. Okay, so wait. I can see both from here? Oh. Interesting. Okay. That's weird. Okay, so let me just, I'm going to pull up pop-outs for both. Or actually, wait, no, I don't need to do that. I have your noties on this week feels super long. I got confused. No, I get it. I was actually going to go live earlier in the week,
Hey!
but then something went goof. What's up, Shed? How's it going? Everything out was life. Okay, so it does both pop up there. So I can just, so I don't need these. I mean, it'll look weird if I'm just like looking up constantly, because it's gonna look a little different. I'm not looking at the side, but I don't know. Maybe it's fine if I look up. Does it matter? The problem is I won't be able to hear the "Hey, where" thing, but oh well. You guys will hear it, and that's what matters. Oh! Wait a minute, I saw that out of the corner of my eye. Hold on a second. Was that a redemption I just saw? Okay, maybe I do need maybe I do need something on the side so I can see what happens with redemptions. But that's only for Twitch, so but I saw a LUT out of the corner of my eye. It was my first time trying restreaming too, so alright, let me look at the mod view for this. Wait a minute. I don't see a redemption. Let's see, wait, let me look at Twitch. Okay, Twitch. What's the bitrate? Okay, it looks like it's playing back the right bitrate. Why does it say unstable? I mean, I could bring it down if necessary. We're learning. We're learning thingamajigs. Okay, wait, now it's showing? Okay. Okay, it's Shed. I thought it was you that redeemed it, because you're the only one there, but... Well, you're not the only one there, but... Okay, so you redeemed that. Why did it not pop up for the channel points? That's unusual. Activity feed? Oh my word, there's some... Oh, nope, here it is. I found it. Okay, cool. All right. I haven't had one of those redeems in many, many months. Okay, so Copy and paste it. Yeah, I see it now in my mod view. So we're good. But yeah. So both on Twitch and YouTube, is the stream looking okay, looking stable, looking fine, looking snazzy? I'm actually glad I have this, because that's kind of nice that it just goes both right out the gate, so I can just look up there and I can see, whoa, that's awesome. I wasn't sure if it'd be that simple, but it is, so that's good. It looks good. All right, cool. Because this is also my first time I'm doing like a 2 PC stream setup. So getting this set up was a nightmare, but it's working. That's the important part. That's all we care about. It's working for you guys at least. My biggest problem is I won't hear some of the redeems that are on the streaming PC. I don't have any way of hearing. I mean, I could send it, but I'm not gonna push the CPU any higher than it needs to be. So, but yeah, I'm back to 4K capture as well. So we got the crispies. That was another reason for the second PC. And then this is not, I'm not sending NDI, right? Okay, good. So I want to make sure I'm not going to kill this computer here. I'm pushing it pretty hard, but... Alright. So, if I can press this, yes, stuff works. Look at that. If I need to switch screens, I can still do that from my main PC. So I have control up there, which is great. Okay. It's looking like it's working. So, because of that, it's Shed. If you want to send me the, let's see, how did I traditionally do this? Because it's been so long since I've done one. You send me either a video or a still of just your raw camera setup with no color or anything. If you have a log profile, that's preferable, so that I can transform it. If not, it's not a big deal. I can still work with it. But yeah, send me something. You can send it. How should you send? Are you in any of the same Discords I am? Is this... When is this dashboard? Okay, I probably should not open. I'm not gonna push this PC any harder than it needs to. It's already... Oh, I still have that open. Whoops, that's not supposed to be open. You have to check? Okay. Okay, there we go. It went back down to 40%. Good. I'm only using 40% of the CPU on the streaming PC. And that's with GPU encoding. Yeah, this little guy, he's seen better days, but he's still chugging. I'm running some DDR3 RAM here, and an i3 processor from like maybe 10 years ago. But it streams like this, so I mean, we're looking sharp. I was just happy I got it to work.
Where?
Oh, it does. Oh, it gave you both? You even have it the same spelling. How did it still... Yeah, it's DDR3. It's kind of nuts, isn't it? It's funny, though. Yeah, you got a double horse. How do you get that? Oh, unless, you know what? I think I have a different enter chat button for that. I don't think it's using the same one. Yeah, I have a different one. So you can activate it twice, yeah. And then you can still hear this.
You can find it in the description if you scroll down far enough.
Now, tracking lightsabers has always been... Oh yeah, so this is the next YouTube video. I'm finally actually making YouTube videos again. I have 2 recorded. This is one of them. And then I also have a couple others that I'm planning on recording pretty soon. There's one that I actually just accidentally discovered that I found was actually really cool. Let me pull in a really noisy clip. Because let's say you don't have the studio version of Resolve. I figured out a really cool thingy thing. My main camera hasn't been working this whole year. I got it repaired, just got it back yesterday. Oh, dope. I'm glad you got it fixed. All right, let's pull in some like old footage that I had here. Let's see, which one was it? It was here. And it was probably like one of these clips, maybe. That one's not a good example. Oh, you know, I could be smart and just, you know, use the page that's intended for this instead of trying to like preview. It's like I don't use Resolve. Come on, there we go. All right, so let's see. Wait a minute. Oh, whoops, it's the wrong folder. This one, here we go. Yeah, this is a good one. Okay. Let me bring this one in. Okay, so this is some old footage, right? Let me just pull it into the edit. I'll just remove the audio so it doesn't do that. Okay. So just to clarify, like, this is in candlelight. But something really cool I ended up accidentally discovering because I was like playing around with different things here. So like obviously if you scroll in, like there's a lot of color noise, like it's kind of nasty. And of course if you're running the studio version, like you have like all of these noise reduction things. But like let's say you didn't have the studio version, you only had the free version, right? So it turns out here, I'll do a color space transform so you can see like what it should look like. This is old like S-Log 2 footage. Rec 709, Gamma 24. All right, so now you can really see that color noise is like really pronounced, right? So let's say you had only the free version of Resolve and you didn't have the noise reduction. What you can do is the node before, like ideally before your color space transform, or when you put in DaVinci White Gamma, I might talk about in the video. Make a node here, right click, use add node and add a layer mixer. In that layer mixer right here, set it to composite mode, luminosity, and then on this node, the top one, go into your blur tab, which is the second one from the right, and then watch this, increase your blur radius. Bye bye chroma noise. Look at the difference. Chroma noise reduction right there. Because that's really all noise reduction is blur, but you can like specify that you want to blur just the chroma noise. So you can actually get, and look, it, like everything stays detailed too. I was just about if I need to pay version of Resolve to color grade as well. No, like a majority of color grading tools that you need are in the free version. The biggest thing that I use that's not in the free version would be DCTLs. Those are in the paid version. Those are like custom tools that people can code and make on their own, and I love using them. But pretty much everything else that you would need outside of noise reduction is available in the free version. There's also Magic Mask, but I don't really use that for color grading at all, because that's a very fine-tuned tool. But like even this new color slice tool is so lovely. I'm gonna put this into DaVinci Wide Gamut real quick, and then put this back into Rec 7 and 9 Gamut 2.4 so we can actually have a good working space here. But yeah, the color slice tool, I have DCTLs I would use instead of the color slice tool, so I'd probably never use this, but for somebody that only has the free version, this tool is incredible. So it allows you to have subtractive saturation and density control over your image, which is super nice. So subtractive saturation, let me grab the skin tone here. Subtractive saturation is different than additive saturation in the sense that you're basically starting from a white point and then adding like cyan, magenta, yellow in order to create colors. So you're starting from a full white point and then bringing it down. So it's a lot more cinematic. It's a lot more of a cinematic saturation as opposed to adding additive saturation that makes it look like very video-y and it's just not pleasing. Like this is additive saturation, and this is subtractive saturation. So it's a very different type of flavor, but the subtractive one is like almost always more pleasing. And then you have density tools, which basically respond a lot more like how you reduce luminance in film. So it makes your colors look more dense while keeping their vividness. And you can also like add negative density too, which is nice if you want to like brighten certain vectors. So yeah. Yeah, now it just looks like we just applied a grain tool on this, really. But yeah, it looks a lot better than if we like cut this nasty stuff. Like this right here, this chroma noise reduction you can do in the free version. But this didn't think so.
Where?
Oh, I got booped. We're Vampiros. How's it going? How's everything? How is life? Welcome in. Yeah, that whole Adobe drop, like, it's like I was gearing up. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to talk to people about Resolve. You ready? Thought it was hilarious. It has been a while. I haven't streamed in months. There's a big reason for that. But I've been doing a lot of stuff in the background. And in case you guys didn't see the news... Did you guys see the news yet? You'll know exactly what I'm talking about if you don't get it like immediately. Or if you hear me say that. If you don't know. Okay. I know you saw it, Buckaroo Brogan.
Hey!
Gadali, what's up, Gadali? How's it going? I didn't think I was live. You saw, of course you saw it. You're a part of it. Yeah, for those that haven't seen it. Yeah, we got ResolveCon coming up. And we got, you know, fancy man here that just showed up. But yeah, we're presenting. We're doing a thing amongst. You will totally forget that. Set an alarm. Set an alarm now on your calendar. No, it's all being recorded as well, so. But yeah, like, this is the, I believe, Gadali, correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the most presenters we've ever had. Why does my phone keep freaking out saying the mobile dashboard? Oh wait, no, that was something else. It's a different notification. I kept seeing the same one. This is the most presenters we've ever had at ResolveCon. Is that correct? Because I know last year we were, well, it was supposed to be, yeah, most ever. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, super sick. Like, just looking at this lineup, oh my word, it's gonna be so good. So, hey, sweetheart. Just talking to people. Yeah.
It's gonna come in here and kiss you.
You can come in and kiss me still. I'll put it on close up. I'll put it right here. Here we go.
Oh.
I love you.
Come here for 2 seconds.
Okay. 1 second, guys. Anyways. So Gadali, I was just showing this this little interesting trick here. So I don't know if you, it's like a power button. Oh. Let me just remove that. I'm just gonna reset that. But it turns out I figured out a way to do chroma noise reduction in the free version of Resolve, and actually pretty easily. I have a proof of concept of how to do luminance noise reduction. It kind of works, but it's very finicky, and you have to like get settings like very correct, and you have to do like multiple things in it. But it turns out so I found a shot that was like super color noisy and stuff. Like, this is ridiculous. But turns out all you really need to do for well, I guess it is chromatic, but chroma noise reduction in the free version of Resolve, just, you know, create a node, add a layer mixer, set the layer mixer to luminosity, And then in the top layer, go to the blur and then just add blur radius. Boom. Chroma noise gone. And then it just looks like we added an absurd amount of grain. But I mean, I would much rather have regular grain than all the color noise, because the color noise just looks nasty. But you know, you do this, and it's interesting. Like, I kind of understand how it works from a conceptual standpoint, because basically we're just, you know, because noise reduction in and of itself is basically just blur at its fundamental point. So I was like, oh, what if we did that, and I just filtered out something. I started with color, but it didn't, you know, quite work. Kind of keeps all the luminosity, keeps all the chroma in, but then it removes all the other noise, which is kind of where I was going with the whole thing. But then I was like, oh wait, no, I did that backwards. And I decided to luminosity, and all of a sudden the color noise is gone. And what's interesting is, like, you know, if you push this like all the way max, it just desaturates the entire thing. I think I have something else. Oh yeah, there it is. So yeah, it like gets rid of most of the color, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, nobody in their right minds would do that, but yeah, it kind of makes sense. Like, once you see what it's doing from a conceptual standpoint, like, really what it's doing is just like taking those messy colors and just blurring them out so they average back out together, which is essentially what spatial noise reduction does. It just like takes those color elements, spreads them out, so that they average out, and then, you know, it filters on top of the original image, so you don't see the blur, because really all you're doing is just compositing the luminance back over itself, and it just keeps it keeps all the exposure intact, but the color it gets. And like, if you like pushed it pretty high and stuff, and then you know, add some subtractive saturation back in, you know, it still like actually keeps the colors pretty nicely, which I was surprised about. This is all like, you could do this all in the free version. Like, obviously this is too far to push it, but like, the fact that you would get that result is kind of nuts. Because without this, like, you can see all that terrible color noise, but that's a really good result. With some frequency separation. Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is a very good baseline. Like, if I want to do a quick tutorial, like, here's how to do chroma noise reduction. You know, it's a very simple way to just do a quick and dirty job, and it works on like messy footage. So the proof of concept that I kind of have for the luminance aspect of it, and I'm still working with this a bit. And I gotta remember how I did it, because I was like fumbling around yesterday. But it is another layer mixer. I think what I used was, oh, and I need like a separate node off on the distance. Okay, what I did was it exclusion or difference? I think it was exclusion. No, it was difference. And then when I blurred I think I blur the top. Yes, okay, kind of. It's something like that. I can't remember exactly how I did it, but I mean, the idea is that like I'm blurring and sharpening to basically find the edges are and the finer details, so that I can use that as a matte and then run that back into the regular node structure over here, and then I can blur and then, you know, cover that stuff up. So that was the proof of concept that I had.
Where?
But it... What's up, Logan? How's it going? How's everything? How's life? Yes, I am live, believe it or not. Finally back. But yeah, so that's kind of the proof of concept I had, and it was like kind of working, but it's not. Oh my word, 1,000? What is this? Audio Gary coming in with 1,000 bits? Boy. Well, thank you. Hello, Audio Gary. How's it going? I should have a chat overlay here so that people can see both chats. I don't have one built in right now. I mean, if you guys want to have both chats open, you're more than welcome to, because this is both on Twitch and YouTube. Yes, I do. I'm multi-streaming right now. Life's chaotic at the moment. Working a lot recently to prep for a few trips in the future, and yeah. Okay, nice. Well, it sounds like you have a lot of fun things planned. That's awesome. But yeah, it's funny, like people on YouTube can't even donate bits, so they see the bit donations, but they can't see the chat. It's really funny. Meh, don't read out loud. I don't need to be with the plebs. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to read that out loud for the people on YouTube. Yeah, I did it. I did. Of course I did. YouTube's better than Twitch anyways, at least on mobile. In some ways, yes, in some ways, no. So like the whole thing with like Twitch and YouTube and okay. Side note, this I know I mentioned this earlier, but like several new people came in, so they haven't heard this. But this is my first stream running a dual PC setup, and just for clarification, this other PC that I have down here, this lovely streaming PC, let's just say it's still running DDR3 RAM and an i3 processor that might be 10 years old at this point. So my CPU in OBS on the streaming PC is, you know, it's running like 43%. And that's with GPU encoding. But hey, guess what? It's working. So I mean, we still have the Krispy Kreme quality. So the other thing that it helped with was it allowed me to do 4K capture for the Fuji again. So kind of chippy got there, Dorito. Yeah, it's basically a Dorito. My rating at the moment is barely supported by Windows 11. That's incredible. The video audio sync is off. Of course it is. Which one's behind? I'm assuming video, right? 9th Gen i5. It's not as bad as what I got in there. Okay. I can probably delay the audio just a tad. Let me see if this works. How many frames? How many frames is it off? Let's see if this works. Oh, with Bluetooth. Well, I just screwed it up for you, Logan. Hold on. I put too much. 1 second. Alright, how's that? Alright, Godali, thank you so much for popping in and saying hi. And yes, it's an advanced Dorito. It's one of the flaming hot Doritos. Anyways, good to see you. Have a good one. A little more and add half of that. Oh, I see. I see. And put your hat on top of that. All right, check. Peter Piper picked a peck of pimpled peppers. He picked some pimpled peppers. The peppers were running in... never mind. Don't clip that. All right. Yeah, just ignore that I said anything. Let's see. I wonder if I can I do an overlay? Or do I have to like get something in there? So I mean, I could do a window capture, but that would look so janky. I'll set it up for next stream or something like that. Forgot you can clip on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, you can. You can clip on both. It's kind of remarkable, isn't it? Thanks for clipping that audio, Gary. Appreciate it. Yes, I have actually. So the color slice, it's so you can check the sync. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna be too worried about it. I don't really care as much as I used to. I mean, I will once I start doing more things. Like the Resolve Con presentation, that'll be necessary. I will need a perfectly sync for that. Thankfully, I have until August to figure that out. Anyways, so color slice, here's how I feel about color slice. It's an amazing tool if you don't have DCTLs. So I love what it does because I love the subtractive saturation and density. I don't know how many people you've listened to talk about it, but the reason I like it so much is because, like, adding something like let's find a part of this that'll work for showing. Okay, so like normal saturation, I'll turn this off real quick. Like normal saturation looks pretty nasty, especially when you have these like on skin tones, you have these like really bright red hinges and stuff. Like obviously I'm pushing saturation too far, but like, it doesn't take that much for the saturation to really break it apart. And obviously this isn't like great footage. This is like old footage. But even then, like I push subtractive saturation and I already get so much more color in here before the red starts like popping out, right? So subtractive saturation already is a much better way to add it, and of course you have the ability to like add it per channel and stuff, or per vector, I should say. The part that I'm more excited about though than the saturation is the density. I really love density tools because you can really bring down or bring the richness of your colors in and make everything like a little bit darker while keeping the richness of the colors. So density is just a really nice tool because it like basically fills in, it like reduces your luminance in like a very filmic way. So it's just it's a lovely tool to have. So like, yeah, color slice, it's a really great tool. And if I didn't have DCTLs, I would be using it all the time. So it's an amazing tool. It's just, I have tools that function a little bit better. So like, if I put a DCTL here, I have mononodes right here. So if I use like this one as an example, these are all the same adjustments, right? But I like how these, I like how mononodes responds better. They actually do have like different temperaments. But I get cleaner results with this, but color slice is still really good. Anyways, I wasn't here to do that. I'm here to work on my new video, which has to do with how to track lightsabers in Resolve. Because yes, you can do that, believe it or not. So that's what density subtractive saturation means. Yes. So like the way to think of subtractive saturation in terms of just a regular additive saturation is additive is referring to when you start from a black point, like let's say your monitor, for instance, and then you add red, green, and blue to get your colors and luminance and all that. That's additive. Subtractive is when you start from a white point and then you add what's the opposite of red, green, and blue? Cyan, magenta, yellow. Just like you have newspapers or paper, like anytime you print something, you add cyan, magenta, yellow to subtract from the white so that when light bounces off of it, you're subtracting from a full white light spectrum and you get colors that way. That's subtractive saturation. And that's how film does it too, basically.
Now, tracking lightsabers has always been a pretty tedious process, but hopefully this video will give you some ways to... Well, hopefully this video will give you some ways to this process. But hopefully this... Now, tracking lights...
Okay, so that's what I thought it was, yeah. Yeah, like... And that I actually built it into OBS as well. So like, you know, if I just open up OBS over here, this actually might be a lot easier now. It's funny, except when it like completely rips itself to shreds. Let's see. Can I do it on this? No, I can't do it on this right now. I'll just do it in Resolve. It's fine. It's because when it switches, it's switching. Hey, ZebraGen, how's it going? How's everything? How's life? Welcome in. It's because when it switches from a 1080p to 4K monitor, it like doesn't know what to do with the UI, so it just freaks out. Yeah, because what you're looking at right here, this whole thing's a 4K monitor, but this isn't. So, anyways. So if I pull in my waveform right here, let's just pull this out. Video scopes on. And yeah, the parade's actually the best way to see this. So I'll just do the parade. Okay, so whenever you add saturation here, you can see like all three channels move, and some of them are moving up, right? That's what added. And here, let me make it even easier. I'll use a color space transform here. Just so we're not looking at a log image. Gamma 2.4. Okay, that should behave the same way, right? Yeah, there we go. So when you add saturation, normally, like, what it's attempting to do is separate red, green, and blue in order to make a color look more vivid. But when you add subtractive saturation, see how everything's going down? And you could, I mean, you've been able to do this for a long time too. So if I actually just put this color space in HSV, and then add subtract here, this is a better way to show it. So yeah, this is what subtractive saturation is meant to do right here. See this, how nothing's going up, everything's going down. Like when I push it up and add more saturation, it only goes down. HSV is a more true subtractive saturation. So I still actually just use HSV whenever I want to do subtractive saturation, because I know I'm getting something that's fully subtractive. I don't actually know how it's adding saturation in here. It's still cleaner in the color slice tool than it is with normal saturation. So like, you know, if I was to max out, whoops, if I was to max this out and then, let me just reset that and then max out this saturation as an example and then switch it. Like you can clearly see the difference here, especially in the red areas. Like full subtractive saturation, a lot more dense. Full additive saturation, that red just looks incredibly video-y and looks terrible. So yeah, that's the difference. I'm gonna group these before I forget so I don't have to select 1,000 different clips at the end. Yeah, it's funny because like you'll see a lot of YouTubers talking about it now, and I think like Colin Kelly was like one of the first to really start bringing it to the forefront and making everybody aware of subtractive saturation, but no one really knew how to talk about it and what it was. They were just like, this is subtractive, so it's more cinematic. Like, okay, great. Do you know what it's doing? But so the reason I brought that example up, the reason I was going to bring it up with the OBS example is because I actually built a shader for OBS that does the same thing. So if here, let me just put this here. I know you can't see my filters right now, and I don't really have a good way of showing because it's on a different PC. But like, I can add subtractive saturation here. This is me adding it in here. Oh, whoops. So, yep, this is like before and after. So I built a shader that does the same thing. So like right now it looks like pretty video-y and there's like some hot spots on my face and stuff, but you know, add subtractive saturation, and then like I actually took away a lot of saturation and added it back in subtractive form. I like the way it looks, like slightly desaturated, but it's personal preference. But yeah, there's a lot to color grading for sure. And ZebraGen, just so you're aware, I'm talking to people on YouTube as well. I'm multi-streaming right now. 64 days is insane to think about. Goodness gracious. 64 more days. That's a magical number, by the way. Magical system. So excited for you guys. I just don't have a chat overlay right now. I need to get one. Hold on, let me see if I can. I do. It's like bothering me now that it is not there. Embed in stream. Oh, here we go. Oh, that makes it a lot easier. So I can copy that. "64 days till the ConNet Resolve." Hey, I'm excited, all right? Just calm down. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Let's see, chat. And then oh great, I'm loving that it's just this block. Incredible. Awesome. I'm gonna change the change everything about this. There you go. Testing is working. All right. Let's see. No, wait. Width, I just want it to be like 480 or something. And then height will be 1080. So it spans the whole screen. Okay, guys. Calm down. RGBA. Okay, hit OK. All right. Now I can set it over here. Now, is there a way for me to go? Oh, here we go. Message background opacity. Oh, chat background opacity. I want that off. Message background opacity like 20. No, not a color key. I found what it was. Okay, let me try this again. It might reset it, but we'll see. Hey, there we go. Although it didn't keep the... Alright, test it now. Yeah, I have both Twitch and YouTube, yes. So here, let me test it.
Hey! Where?
Oh, I see the boxes. They're very minimal. I guess I could make that a little bit more opaque. Hey, Twitch chat. Oh, and I just realized it's coming from the top. I don't want it from the top. I want it from the bottom. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to do it again. All right. Whoops. Okay, paste. And I'm going to shrink it down to 360 because it's still a little wide. Refresh. There we go. Now it's coming from the point that it should. All right. YouTube and Twitch people talk to each other. I'm glad I could do that all just in this dashboard. That's actually kind of nice. All right, be kind, people. Look at that. The people on Twitch are nice. The people on YouTube are just buttholes. Is that readable on you guys' end? Or does the text need to be bigger? Oop. That wasn't what I wanted to do.
Hey!
Hey, Quizman, how's it going? How's everything? How was life? It's readable here? Okay, perfect. Then I'm leaving it as is. You guys can deal with it if you don't like it. On YouTube, not really, but it's also called multiple keyboard gets in the way. Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, not much I can do about that. I didn't design this thing.
Well, hopefully this video will give you some ways to do it in a new way and
Hey, but okay, I was just talking about Logan, okay? Calm down. Oh man, it's good enough though. Okay, good. It's if you can see it, that's what matters. I didn't want it to like clutter up the page, although I did set it to like go full vertical screen. But whatever. At this point, I'm just glad I have something functional. I should probably make sure I have it on other screens. Oh, don't crash it. Just quickly do this paste reference. Okay, good. Go back down before the CPU dies. Okay, good. That works. Oh, by the way, Equitsand, you weren't here earlier, but so I found out this really cool thing, right? So it turns out there's a very so like if you're on Studio, you're not gonna really care as much. But I have this really noisy clip that's like a really good example for this.
Bald by camera, Tim.
Oh,
Hey!
Logan followed there.
Where?
There you go. Now Logan's on both sides. With conflicting and setting off the horse twice. So we tested, but some kid was banging on the door. Oh, no worries. You're fine, ZebraGen. Okay. So there's this really cool trick. If you are on the free version of Resolve and you can't do noise reduction, but you just need some sort of chroma noise reduction. I have like a luminance one in the works, or the possible workaround, but it's just like not quite there. I need to find like a more functional way to do it. But like obviously this was like shot in candlelight, right? So not the best of scenarios. I'm gonna transform it to Rec 709 so you can like have a more tangible view of what this is supposed to look like. Rec 709 gamma 24. Okay. So like you can really see how bad this chroma noise is, right? And I think this is like 160,000 ISO or something stupid. And of course on the studio version, like you have the noise reduction tools, but turns out if you just put a node before you transform wherever you want to put it, you right click on it, add a layer mixer. On the layer mixer, set it to composite mode luminosity. You do need to use a layer mixer for this. This does not work on the node itself. I tested this. Go to the top node after you set it to luminosity, and watch what happens. Go to the blur and just bring it up. Chroma noise gone. Like, and now it just looks like we added a ton of grain. But it looks so much better. And if you add color back into it, so if like, you know, let's go into our classic HSV here. And then, you know, just push the saturation up. Like, the colors don't even look messy, like other than the heavy luminance noise. Like, isn't that nuts? And this is all like, you could totally do this on the free version. Like, here's how messy it was. No noise reduction, just these three nodes. Boom. Like, even on the face, it's cleaner. It's so good. I'm so happy about it. Yep. And then doing the luminance one is a lot harder. Because like you have to like connect things in a bunch of different ways, and it's probably going to end up using like mats and stuff in order to get the luminance part of it to work. Okay, ZebraGen, thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you have a fantastic night, and thank you so much for stopping by. Have a good night. I'm on Studio, but not a fan of the noise reduction I've been doing. Yeah, I try not to use noise reduction if I can help it. But usually if I do, I'll get rid of the chroma noise because the color noise is always the worst. I can live with luminance noise. All right, Logan, thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great night yourself. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out.
Tedious process, but hopefully this video will give you some ways to do it in a new way and hopefully speed up your process.
But yeah, I was thinking about coming up with another way of doing luminance noise reduction.
Ladies
it's just really
and
complicated.
It's camera time.
Oh no, it broke. How dare you? Did it forget to go back? Oh,
Hey!
I messed up the code.
Where?
Whoops. What's up, Dan? How's it going? How's everything else? Life? Is that like a second time in a row? I mean, I don't. It's been a long time since we did this. All right, let's go back. Okay. Let's try it one more time. You get a freebie here. How about that?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's camera time.
There we go. Now it worked. Okay, we're good. Oh man. Yeah, so Dan, I was just showing off this this really cool thing on the free version of Resolve. If you don't have noise reduction, and you need a way to like, at least I have a working theory for how to get the luminance part of it working. So I don't know if you. Okay, Restream, I don't care. Restream's like, congratulations, you've received 100 messages today with Restream chat. And it wants me to tweet about it. Okay. Anyways. So anyways, this really cool thing. I've showed it like 1,000 times, but I haven't gotten tired of showing it yet. So let me just put this in like a proper space so you can see it. But like, let's say you didn't have studio version. Last Breeze, how's it going? How's everything else? Life, welcome in. Dude, thank you. I was pretty stoked about it. I still am, yeah. I'm still stoked, Dan, don't worry. But yeah, so like, let's say you had the free version of Resolve and you didn't have a way, like, because you know this is old footage as well, but like that chroma noise is absolutely the worst. Like you can really see it here. This is like terrible chroma noise, and you know, of course, if you have Studio, you can just get rid of it with, you know, this tab over here. But if you're on the free version, you can't do that. You make a new node, add a layer mixer. In the layer mixer, set it to luminosity. And then in the top node, and you can't do this on a single node. I've tested this, but on the top node, go to your blur tab and just increase your blur radius. And look at that. Magical chroma noise reduction. And then you can, like, you know, just to even see how far you can stretch your colors, you know, go to classic HSV, push up your saturation, and like the colors are still, even on this, is like still somewhat clean. So yes, Last Breeze. I'm planning on making a video pretty soon on how to do both types of noise reduction for free in the free version Resolve. So that's for Nerd says VP9. Are we living in the future? YouTube is able to encode VP9 in real time. Yes, we are. It might be because I'm a YouTube partner as well, but I don't know. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But yeah, like this is without the chroma noise reduction. This is with. It's pretty significant difference. So that was fun. And then I do have like a working concept for the luminance aspect of it, but it's kind of complicated. It does add another layer node, but basically how this one will work, and it needs like another node like below it. But basically how this will work is like you use a difference key, and then you blur one end, and then you can sharpen the other. so that you kind of are getting the details back. I'm doing a very rough job. It'll be a little bit more intricate than this, but you basically like use this as a mat so that, you know, you funnel it back into your regular part of the node tree, and you just do like a luminance qualifier, so that, you know, you keep the fine details and stuff, and you know, soften it out, maybe denoise it a little bit. And then go back into here, and then you invert the selection here, and then you add blur on top of that. And then when you funnel that back in, then you know, the idea is you keep the fine details.
Hey!
Obviously, I ran through this really fast.
Where?
In order to just show. It's a huge douche. Yeah, kind of. China tomorrow's almost midnight in New York. Oh boy, yeah, it's getting pretty late here. I'm in Michigan, but yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea, is like, and again, it's not going to look good right now, but you know, you can reduce the noise, but try to keep the noise in like the finer detail areas, so it doesn't look like you're softening the whole image. That's kind of the idea. And again, this example is kind of egregious too, but that's, you know, that's the idea. So if I, you know, remove these, we're not like completely removing the details in like the glasses, the mouth and stuff. It's still kind of there. So yeah, I'm still working on like a better way to do this, and a better way to like cleanly transition from like non-textured to textured stuff. But yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So that's why the luminance one is a lot more complicated. The chroma one is easy because really all it's doing is just like blurring out the noise and just kind of averaging it out, similar to how spatial noise reduction would with chroma, but you're just doing it in a layer mixer. So yeah, noise reduction in the free version, all that stuff I just showed would be available in a free version. It's like, honestly though, it's not a bad result, you know? Even for the quick and dirty part that I just did. I mean, it's not terrible by any stretch. And if I just took out these, let's see what it looked like with just a blur. Can I turn off the key? Yeah, that's what it looks like with just the blur. So, plugging this back in, reversing. Yeah, so it's able to keep some of the detail in there. Might even add a little more denoising so it like smooths out that blur a little bit. Maybe add some blur radius or something. What's the project? Well, this was just an old piece of footage that I had that I knew was very noisy. That was like easy to show this off. The actual project that has absolutely nothing to do with this is my next YouTube video. Oh, look, my fat face. Yeah, my next YouTube video is how to track a lightsaber. Using maybe familiar footage to you. Yeah, I'm gonna skim through this, but Yep. What's even funnier is typing out mask-based noise reduction and vaporsmith and using a preview window that you keep refreshing when you make changes. Where on earth did you get that incredible footage? Whoever shot this is certainly handsome and cool. That's what I said. I was like, only the most handsome, hottest people can shoot footage that good. But yeah, this video just kind of shows like how to track, like instead of hand drawing every single frame of lightsaber tracking, you know, I can just track the lightsaber part of it. And then this one was really complex because I like twisted it around and had like there was shutter speed, so I did have to show hand tracking. Finally, have the base of the color grading. Oh, it's Shed. You didn't need to do any of the color grading. No, you just send me the raw image from it, especially if it's like if it's a log image, and I can do it. Milk. Or yeah. Yes, all the milk. I'm a milk drinker. Wait, what? What? Was that out loud?
Well, hopefully this video will give you some deeper process. Whether you're on the free...
Not that. Oh, you mean learning the color? Oh, gotcha. I got you now. Dude, your lighting is like not sure how to put it into words. You just did. Oh, it's on par with Joa. Yeah, Joa. I think Joa ended up getting the moody part from. I think we were talking about it a long time ago. He liked the contrast look, so he kind of took inspiration for that too. We're shooting our next big project next week. Nice. Yeah, I still have that project I need to edit for you guys. There's like a couple. I have like 2 more videos that I need to get done, and then I'll be able to finish that, and I'll be like, oh, good, I can finally finish this thing. There's so many. I have so much on the backlog. It's insane. Remember that like we made 3D? Yeah, the 3D DaVinci logo. Yeah, I made one in Chrome, but I haven't figured out how to reflect something on it. Bus pedals are embossed. Cool. Dude, how big is your NAS? I don't have one. I wish I did. I need one.
Whether you're on the free or studio version.
I just have a bunch of old drives. So like all in all, I probably have, I don't know, like 24 or so terabytes of storage. But the funny thing is like I do work off of a NAS, just not my own. So like I'll cycle in projects when I need to, and then I'll just unsync them whenever I finish the project.
Whether you're on the free or studio version.
You realize I need to go into the color space transform. Just as setting my camera color space. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Solid and I both run unraid. Grab all your old drives, shove them on USB-C, unraid from USB-C. As long as it's someone else's NAS. Yeah, I mean it's because like the guy that I work with sometimes has a Synology NAS. So I just sync it with one of my local drives because I use the Synology drive client. So I have enough space to take on, you know, a couple projects at a time because they're usually not that big. And And then once the project's done, I just clear it from my drive and, you know, doesn't affect the NAS at all. I do want to build my own NAS at some point, though. I just, it is way down the list of things that I can't afford.
Now, if we head on here to...
What was I doing here? Forgot I was...
Jumping on into Resolve, we have 3 different... Now, jumping on into Resolve, we have a few different clips we're going to look at here. A couple of them I've already tried. Now, jumping on into...
Dan, who typically edits it? Is it you that edits the videos for Casey's YouTube, or is that Sam that usually does it? No unused PC lying around? So Last Breeze, it's funny you mentioned that. So like the unused PC that I used to have lying around is now what's streaming. Sam does YouTube stuff. Okay, gotcha.
Now jumping on... Studio version. Now jumping on...
Well, if he wants more aneurysms, he can edit my stuff too. You mostly work on the films. Gotcha. Okay, nice.
On into Resolve, we have a few different clips we're going to look at here.
Repurposed into the streaming PC, yeah. And this sucker, oh man, I'm baffled it actually still runs. Like, let me put it this way. The streaming PC OBS is running at like 40 to 45% CPU usage, and it's not even encoding. It's GPU encoding. But it's working. That's the important part. It's working.
A couple of them... Look at here. A couple of them I've already tracked, and we're going to show exactly how it...
Oh, and the other part is like, so like, yes, it's streaming. I'm not even using, yeah, it's doing its job. I think a big part of it is because the reason I'm able to capture my other, like all these screens right here and everything. All those screens are my other PC, but I'm not using a capture card.
How we got to those points.
So that's probably why it's chugging so much.
But we're gonna start on the... But we're gonna start...
Yay for NDI. It's funny because I do like weekly workshops on Thursdays, and I kind of have to like reverse this process. Yes, they are. But I kind of have to like reverse this process because my capture card for my camera is going into the old PC or the streaming PC. So in order for people to be able to see me on a Discord call, yeah, I have NDI. Yeah, you're seeing like a bunch of NDI stuff happening right now. So I have NDI. I have 2 different NDI signals coming from my my editing PC to this, because in order for me to have overlays and everything, that all is coming from the regular PC still. So my overlays and my displays are going to the streaming PC, but my webcam is straight into the streaming PC. NDI. So, okay, let me put it this way. NDI actually, it's not necessarily easy, but it makes more things possible. So like there's actually something I couldn't do if I was using a capture card. And so like you'll notice that when the horse thing comes up, like when somebody new types in chat, that goes on top of the display and my webcam. But it's still coming from the same PC. So in order for that to work in OBS, I have to send 2 different NDI signals. I have to send a preview. I have to send both preview and program. Well, there's actually a couple ways to do it, but I didn't want to send. I didn't want the streaming PC to have to capture like 4 different things, because if that was the case, I would have to have 4 different NDI sources in order for this to work. Are you using the streaming software default scaler for cam input? Your glass and oh, I might not have actually changed that. Let me check. Hold on. Oh, set to disable. I think it should be bilinear. Or is that, hold on, let me go back to video res. Yeah, there's no downscale filter there, so it's just a source. Hopefully that does a little bit better. Listen, I had to build it up from scratch, okay? It's just, I forgot a couple things. Yeah, it looks way better. Okay, that's what I thought. Set it to bilingual. I want to speak Spanish like when Buzz Lightyear gets a switch flipped. Me no hablo español. Yo no hablo español. How do you say don't in Spanish? I mean, they probably have like different grammatical things too. I'm glad you brought it up to me. I would have forgotten it. What's the weather? I should probably check that. Don't-o. Oh my word, Dan. How do you say DaVinci Resolve in Spanish? I can't do it. I can't. Leonardo da All right, I'm done, guys. All right, that was a great stream. See you guys later. Oh no. I'm gonna get banned. Reported. You started it. He baited me. Hey, at least I have proof now because the chat is on stream now. So that helps. Well, it's funny on that Star Wars bit, like you can still hear all you guys talking and everything.
2, 1, action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. It's so good. Oh wait, I actually even said something in the recording. I forgot.
But we're going to start on this one courtesy of Casey Ferris. Thank you very much. And the whole ground control team. You guys are beautiful people.
I forgot I said that. It's all natural. All natural. Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know why I'm doing that. Okay, we're moving on.
Just going to move this Now the first thing... Guys are beautiful people. I'm gonna move this over to make it easier to see. Now the first thing we want to do anytime we go into Fusion and do anything with camera footage...
Maybe I should just bring this up a little bit so I can hear it.
Do anything with camera footage is we want to put it into a linear space because that's what Fusion natively works in. So the first thing...
Pick of the Kessler Cine slider the other day used for $500. Dude. Oh, wait, how much do they normally go for? I know it's like a decent amount, but now I'm curious. Dude, that's dope. Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like it's more than 50% off. That's insane. Is it like all in like good working condition and everything? Dude, that's ridiculous. So here's the plan. For Resolve Con, I can do it from Casey's office. Wanted to stop in and say hi, say what up, say silly things, congratulate you on Resolve panel. Have a good one, man. Thank you so much, Last Breeze. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping in. Have a fantastic night. Oh, that's so good. I just used one of the Eldercrone sliders the other day on an interview shoot, and we tried. So it's the second time we were using it, and the first time for some reason the phone app like didn't work until after the shoot was done the first time around. So I had to manually do the thing. I had to manually move it the whole time through the interview. It was ridiculous. The second time though, the other day, like earlier this week, I think it was Monday. We ended up getting it to work, and goodness gracious, that was so much better. Just letting it go back and forth by itself. Yeah. Those things are honkers though. Like those are beefy, and yeah. Eldercrone, I can see why they get like such a weird reputation. The Jibbone is incredible. Sex boss at the same time. Yeah. It's kind of like, oh, that reminds me of Kame TV. I don't even know if they make stuff anymore. I haven't heard their names in a while, but they made a cheaper like Steadicam knockoff, and it seemed like a pretty good deal until I noticed, and we didn't notice this for a while, and it could have just been like a quality control sign of use thing. But after a while, I was working on balancing, doing dynamic balance and everything, and I realized that the balance shifted if I turned, or if I rotated it 90 degrees. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. It's actually impossible to balance it. That's not good. So, yeah. Knockoffs are not always the best. They'll cost you later.
So the first thing...
Now, to be fair, though, there are some, like, cheaper alternative products that I've gotten that I've actually been very happy with. Like, GVM lighting, I'm actually, like, pretty happy with. I've had very, very little problems with their lights. And considering they're, like, a fraction of the cost of aperture lights for, like, the same output, I can't complain. They've been so good for me personally. I'm using 3 of them right now. Bro, the Gemma have plus 2 in Pan Pro for a shoot a while back, and it feels like so much more trouble than it's worth. That's why I like Godox. Yep, Godox is another good one. That's the softbox I got right here too. Yep, Godox makes really good stuff. I wanted to get their the UL series lights, like the UL 150. They were like slightly more expensive because they were silent ones. Because they're like they have like the built-in heatsink and stuff, but those look super dope. But the ones I really want to try are the Zhiyun, however you pronounce them, the mollusk lights. Those little like palm, the ones that fit in the palm of your hand. You're gonna hold them like a camera. I want to try those. They look so gimmicky, but I see so many good reviews on them, except for like the whole battery debacle. But that was like the only bad thing I heard.
So the first thing we're going to add is a color space transform. We're going to go ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and select the media in, and first thing transform. We're going to go ahead transform. Second form. We're going to go ahead. So we're going to go ahead. Transform. We're going to go ahead and space transform. We're going to go ahead and select the media in, and the first thing we're space transform. We're going to go ahead and select the media. Go ahead and is a color space transform. So the first thing we're going to add is a color.
This is why recordings are fun.
Go ahead and select the media.
Okay, so I'll have to do a freeze frame there, find out where... Did I select it here? Yeah, I did. Alright, so... Alright, where is it? Okay, it starts moving here. Can you... I'm pressing Z. Of course you don't want to work. There you go.
Works in. So the first thing we're going to add is a color space transform. We're going to go ahead and select the media in, and the first thing we're going to add is a color space transform.
Oh, that's why I cut it.
So the first thing we're going to add is a color space transform. We're going to go ahead and select the media in, and the first thing we're going to be in, and the first, and basically is a color space transform. We're going to go ahead and select the media in, and basically we're space transform. Go ahead and select the media in, and the fusion natively works in. So the first.
Okay, so I just need to take that part out.
Works in. I'm gonna go ahead and works in. I'm gonna go ahead and it works in. So I'm gonna go ahead and select the media in. It natively works in. It natively works in. So I'm gonna go ahead and select the media in, and the first thing we're going to add is a color space transform. And basically we're going to take this from camera space, which would be this.
Oh, by the way, is this correct? Did you guys shoot it on wide gamut Gen 4.5 and film Gen 5? I can't remember if I ever asked that. I wasn't sure. It was like what looked the most correct. Okay, good. So I got it right. I was like, this looks correct, but I'm not 100% sure. Because I forgot what he did in the video and I didn't look it up.
This and in camera space, which would be this, and into
should be this,
and into this, and into Rec 709 linear. Now you could go into DaVinci, you could do wide gamut, but the color space isn't really as important as the gamut, which is what Fusion is expecting. It's back thing, and then we can just Fusion is expecting. And then we can just make a copy of this color space transform, swap this, swap the inputs and outputs, color transform, transform this, and copy of this color space transform, swap the inputs and outputs, and we'll just output to Rec 709 gamut before. Again, if you're going into a color grading space after this, you might want to go to DaVinci Resolve intermediate, but this is good for preview purposes for our sake right now. For our sake right now. And just to be clear, we do want to work inside of these color space transforms, so we are working in linear. It will actually give us a better result on our track. So next I'm going to add just a normal on our track. So next I'm going to add just a normal tracker here.
Also, I just realized something. Oh wait, no, never mind. I didn't realize anything. I lied. Don't listen to me. I have no idea what I'm doing.
And the key normal tracker here. And the key to this effect is that we need 2 different tracking points. So I'm going to add a second IntelliTrack point. We are going to get to the regular point tracker if you are using a free version.
What's that noise that I made?
Tracker if you are
It's like I started talking in reverse.
we are going to get to the regular point tracker if you are using the free version. So, but we are going to be using point. We are going to.
That's me after 2 whiskey sours. Oh, dude, that sounds so good right now. Oh, that just made me really want one.
Point. We are going to be using the.
Oh man, that's like the biggest bummer of not doing it in person. We won't be able to have whiskey sours together. So sad. We can do it over Zoom or Discord. That should be what we do. We should definitely like have some group after party stuff still. Just like you know those I don't know if you ever did them, but like during COVID and everybody was home and stuff, they had like team building activities over Zoom and stuff, and so we would do like mystery games or like those what is it, like escape the room but on Zoom. You should do one of those. Oh, that would be so fun. But after at least all of us has had it, or after all of us has had at least like one drink. Oh man. That would be so funny. Brainstorming.
Using the point tracker in the next example. So if you're using the free version, all these concepts with the IntelliTrack still apply. With the these concepts with the all these concepts with the IntelliTrack.
Daria, that, you know, I had a sneaking suspicion that Daria was just like could just keep on going and like wouldn't affect her at all.
These concepts with the IntelliTrack still apply.
She seems like that type of person that would just surprise you in that area. I don't know why.
So if you're using the free version, all of these, we will be using the point tracker in the next. We are going to be using the point tracker in the next example. So if you're using the free,
she drives nails with her bare hands. What can't Daria do? She wrote the book on color. Oh yeah, she drives in nails with her hands. And she's a ton of fun in a room with Darren. Listening to those two banter is the funniest thing. Oh my word. I remember we when we went to or last year when we came there. Oh, who all did we go with? Let's see. It was Darren, Daria, Burned, Jim Robinson was there too. I think myself. Was there one more? It might have just been us 5. But we all went to like I think it was the Cheesecake Factory or whatever it was. But apparently, so when we went in to the mall, like right next to where that Cheesecake Factory thing was, there was there was a massage chair in there, and apparently Darren had never seen that at a mall before, so he was like, I have to try this. So he gets in the chair, and he just like sinks completely into it, and then he's just like, oh. Like just like this the whole time, and then like Daria just like takes a picture of him, and then Jim's taking a picture of Daria, taking a picture of Darren, and then I'm taking a picture of Jim, taking a picture of Daria, taking a picture of Darren. It was it was so dumb. And then Burns just kind of off to the side, just like, okay, this is happening. It was so meta. It was the most meta. It was just like the picture of Darren was hilarious. It's just a fun group.
We are going to be using these concepts with the IntelliTrack. We will be using the point tracker in the next example, but all of these principles with the IntelliTrack still apply. We are going to be...
All that gets yoinked.
We will be using the point tracker in the next example, but all of these principles with the IntelliTrack still apply. Still apply if you're using the free version. IntelliTrack still apply. With the IntelliTrack still apply if you're using the free version. So I'm going to take my first point here and find the tip of the lightsaber right here, and then I'm going to bring my second one in and find the bottom of the lightsaber right here. Put one in and find the bottom of the lightsaber right here. And I'm just going to zoom in just to be sure by left and middle clicking and holding and drag.
Oh yeah, this was something I accidentally found, and then I was actually talking. You know who Matt McCool is, right? I think you might. You should. I'm pretty sure you know who he is, right? You know Matt. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. Maybe yes. Maybe no. Maybe so. Maybe no. Baby don't go. But anyways, I was talking with Matt. Oh, you don't? Okay. Yeah, I don't know who he knows and who he doesn't. He's also like, okay, he's the guy that he used to do the DaVinci Resolve tutorials for motion VFX. Before I started doing them a couple months ago. But anyways, I was just talking with him about this little thing that I didn't realize was in here and that he knew about. But apparently in Fusion, if you middle and left click in your viewer and just move your mouse left and right, you can zoom like linearly like this without having to scroll your wheel. I did not know that was a thing. And I was so mad when I found that out. And it does it where you initially click too. So like if I wanted to zoom on this trash can here, I just move my mouse here, middle and left click, and zoom right into it. Yeah. And then F just puts it back into fit. Yeah, I'm not scrolling. This is just me moving my mouse left and right. And look how much easier this is. You know what the crazy part is? It's on the edit page too. Yeah, I was like, oh, dude, it's so nice. Like, especially on the Fusion page, it's really nice. Edit page was never really that much of a big deal, but like, it's still nice to have. The only weird thing with the edit page is that it doesn't go to where your mouse is. So you still have to like middle click and move around. But even then, like, it's not that big a deal because you can, you know, pretty easily just, you know, zoom in and find out where you need to go pretty quickly. But the fact that on Fusion, if you do that wherever your mouse is, you can just go right in. So I don't remember how I accidentally figured that out. But I think I might have just been like clicking around a bunch of things because Matt was also the one that pointed out. I think they removed this on 19 because Matt found it. And this really bothers me that they removed it. But there used to be something right here on the left side of the screen where if you right clicked it, it would give you all of the Fusion Studio, like the Fusion standalone proxy options, like the like 16th, 30th resolutions, so you can preview much easier. That was right here. If you go back to like 18.6 and you right click right here on the left, at the far left of your timeline panel, it shows, yeah, it's so bizarre. But why they removed that, I have no idea. Because like you still have, you know, your proxy and auto proxy options here. Okay. They don't do anything. And apparently there was another one around here somewhere that was just like out of like randomly right clicking. You could find it, but I think they might have removed that one too. There was like another thing that they got rid of. I do not have a color panel. I only have the speed editor. And the speed editor is the only reason I have Studio. That was the only reason I could convince myself to make a purchase like that. I think if I didn't buy the speed editor, I would probably still be on the free version of Resolve right now, if being completely honest. And I still use the speed editor quite a lot. I don't use it as much for YouTube videos anymore, but I use it for my normal work a lot, especially if I'm doing like interview stuff. You want a Pixis? The Pixis are interesting. I'm like on the fence if I want one of them or not. They look really dope. The only reason I might not want one is because I would probably lean towards well, I don't know. I'm still on the fence of like what I want in my next camera. I'm still leaning towards like the Fujifilm X-H2S. That's the problem I'm running into, is I still kind of want that one and stay within the same ecosystem because I'm still using the X-T3s. Yeah, I want the micro color panel too. That would be super nice to have. And see, the thing is, I don't actually have much of anything. See, it's funny because I make my setup look a lot better than yet. Yeah, of course. I don't have it yet. But dude, if you saw my office, you would be shocked that it looks like this on camera. Like, let me show you how much space I have here. That's my wall. It's less than 9 by 9 square feet. I still have an XT3. Columbia lends me XT5 sometimes. Yeah, the XT5 was interesting. the XC3 still does such a fantastic job that I haven't needed to upgrade for my professional work yet. Like it's I don't know how they innovated that much back in 2018, but it's still that good. And then if I was to like upgrade in a similar price range, I would probably go with, I don't know, probably like the or the XS20, because you actually get I think you can get open gate raw output out of that, and it's like a $1,300 camera. Yeah, the FS6 or the FX6, yeah, the FX3, FX6, FX9, those are pretty beastly. Although Sony color design still leaves something to be desired, I will say. But yeah, as far as the Blackmagics goes, like, I don't know, there's a part of me that still kind of leans the Pocket 6K, or one of the Pocket 6Ks. Mainly because I've used them. And the thing with the Pixis is if I got the Pixis, I would have to spend a lot more rigging it out. Which I get that that's the intention for, and I'm not like against that or anything, I just can't afford that. What I really want is the 12K. Not for the resolution, but for that dynamic range, because that image looked, oh, so beautiful. That was like 16. It was 16 stops. So only like a handful of cameras that have that many. That's like Ari level. Ari level of stops. Like, I don't even know if Red has a camera that has that many. I think they do, actually. I can't remember which one, but I know like the Alexa 35 is the one that's like got 17 stops and is like absolutely insane. Yeah. I mean, the real dream is Ari, but still, Blackmagic's getting really close.
Dragging, so that we can get a nice smooth zoom here, and just make sure we got it right where we want. Got it where we want. And got it right where we want, and then I can.
You know what kind of sucks is that so there's a company I started doing work for recently near me, and they own 2 Canon R5Cs, and I mean, Canon does some things good, and then they just, you know, send in the cripple hammer. Ugh. They're just not fun to shoot with. And let me tell you, those RF lenses, those things are chunky funkers. Like, they're a hunk of chunks. Like, goodness gracious, those things are big. Like, I'm holding like a mini baby in my hand. Like, those things are huge. You know, I'll just sit here with my little humble Fuji lens. This thing's still really sharp too.
And then I can.
But yeah, the RF lenses are ridiculous.
And then we're just going to track forward from current time here and see how far we can get with it. Now it seems to break apart there, so we're going to stop the track and find the last successful point of tracking here, which looks like it's right around.
Let me use the C series only. They're having the FS6. Are you talking about like C300 and C400, C500, all that? Canon C300 series of cameras are probably some of my favorites I've ever used. The C300s are so good. That was like those cinema line cameras they made, they actually did very, very well. I have like little to no complaints about them. They're just easy to use, amazing image. C300, C500, yeah, those are solid. C500, I don't know how great that was, but C300 was so good. Running on set, the series, what, however you pronounce it, the 1.6K 6x anamorphics. Are you trying those out on the Pixis cameras? Is that what you're doing? Or are you just using them on the L-mount Blackmagics you have?
Here, somewhere around there, yes. And we're gonna go back to where we started from. I'm going to just get these first frames here as well. Somewhere around there, yes. We're gonna go back to, looks like it's right around here, somewhere around there, yes. We're gonna go back to where we started from. I'm going to just get these first frames here as well, just so we have a more well.
Cinema 6K Pro, got it. Yeah, I mean, I've heard really good things about them. They seem really good. You guys making another short? Is that why? I mean, I guess you did kind of say that a little bit ago.
Over here as well. Here as well. Just so
nice. This is the return of the wiener dog. He lands. And he talks about his space voyage. And then you go full J.J. Abrams with the documentary of it. 3 days. Oh, so you guys are like really going all out. Oh, that's dope. How far has Ben from where is it? You guys are close to Eugene, is that right? I know you're near Portland, but like, oh wait, no, not Eugene. 3 hours. I've been organizing for the last month. Oh dude, that's so sick. That's exciting. Those lenses are super fun to play with. Let's see. Which ones did Alex do for his little short? I know he had. Oh, let me see. Oh, caps lock was on. Did he do it on his Mr. Alex Life channel? No, he did it on his regular one. Yeah, same. He got the 50 mil. Yeah, because he shot the whole thing on the on that 50 mil, and it looked good. Let's see, where was it? Echoes of brushstrokes. That's what it was. Yeah, this whole thing right here. Yeah, this looked so good. Like, ugh. You can tell that he used to do photography a while back, because he very much has a sense of composition. Oh yeah, the vertical book, it's so good. It's so good. The 1.33 is like just not quite enough. in some cases. Like you need a little bit more than that. But even just the look that it pulls in, it's so clean. Like it's not overly sharpened, but it looks like it has really nice clean roll off. Like it's not too high contrast. It just looks good. Like even some of these shots are like a little more obscure. He still makes it look good. Yeah, he uses the S5 IIX, which is funny. I was just talking to somebody about that same camera earlier. Friend of mine's looking at helping somebody out with a easy setup, and something I figured out was the S5 IIX can it records straight to an SSD, which that's like one of the biggest differences between that one and the S5 II is the S5 IIX can record straight to SSD, so like we can like record ProRes, and I think it can record RAW. Not 100% on that one, but I know it records ProRes straight to SSD.
Well, just so we have a more completed track point here. It looks like it did a pretty good job here, except when we got to this point. Zoom in. Looks like the track is somewhere around there, yes. We're going to go back to where we started from. I'm going to just get these first rings here as well, just so we have a more completed track point here. It looks like it did a pretty good job here, except when we got to this point. Zoom in. Looks like the track lost. I'll zoom in. Looks like the track lost right around here. Now we can adjust individual points. Now we can here. Now we can here. Here. Now we can adjust individual points. Now we can adjust.
I'm so bad at this YouTube thing.
Here. Now
I've converted H5 to ProRes with shutter encoder. It's not bad. Yeah, shutter encoder I've heard about it. I've never used it though. I mean, anytime I'm recording, I just generate proxies within Resolve. If I ever need to use pros, I'll probably just use like FFmpeg or something, because I use scripts because I'm somewhat masochistic. But I will say, having some built-out scripts is nice to have. It's funny because I need to do that for workshops I record, because I have to record my audio and whatever software I'm using, like Discord as an example. I have to record them separately, and when you play it back, just like in VLC or when you upload it or something, it doesn't always like play the all audio tracks, so it's either hearing only me or only the software. So I have to use an FFmpeg script to remux it while remapping the audio, which is nice, because then I don't have to like convert it and lose more data. I just, I copy the video, but then just remap the audio and combine it. Easier to grade pros, apparently, according to Stefan. I've heard that before too. I've heard people say that. Stefan's not the only one that I've heard say that. There's another buddy of mine that kind of does the same thing. I think DNxHR will also do that. Just become easier to grade for some reason. I think it has to do with the fact that it's actually building out full frames without guessing where pixels are or something like that. I don't know like the full technical specs on why it works, but there's a lot less like averaging out that's done, so you're able to maneuver pixels a little bit more precisely, I guess. I don't know. I haven't done it, but If Stefan says it, it's probably true. Same with Thatcher.
Here. Now we can adjust individual points if something flies off track. So, and that's pretty simple to do.
Goodness.
And
You can tell it just. Oh
we can adjust
man.
individual points if something flies off track. That's pretty simple to do. We can even move this. And that's pretty simple to do. Points of something. Now we can adjust individual points if something flies off track. So, and then individual points if something flies off track. And that's pretty simple to do. We can even move this tracker thing out of the way because all we need to do is just grab our point here. Grab our point here. And then if we need to go to the next frame to move the next point, we just press and we drag and move it.
We just press. I just say, we just press. Press like a French press.
We drag and move it to the bottom. Now, all we're trying to get, especially if it goes, if anything obscures the lightsaber. Now, all we're trying to get, especially if it goes, if anything obscures, especially if we're trying to get, especially if anything. If anything, especially if anything. If trying to get, especially if anything.
Let's see if I can find a good spot in the audio to do this.
If any. If anything especially if anything obscures.
Yes, more real frames. I'm borrowing an Atomos. That's my assumption. I'm borrowing an Atomos Ninja for my XT series, and it captures ProRes or DNX HR. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of why I want to get the. Oh, there's a pop. Oh, there it is. Oh, that popped good. There's a bug. It's kind of why I want to get the XT, or I keep saying XT, XS20. Because allegedly that has raw output, so I could even theoretically do B-raw from that one. Which would be like, you could do like 6.2 open gate with a $1,300 camera with raw output. Let me make sure I'm right on that. Can you do B-raw?
Hey! Where?
I think I accidentally. How long was I talking where you couldn't hear me? I must have accidentally pressed the mute button. How's it going? How's everything out of life? Welcome in, Team Bandori. I was like reading all your stuff, and then I didn't say anything. Okay. Since I got on a minute ago, shoot. And Quiznan, how much did you hear from what I said? Anyways, I was just saying that the Fujifilm X-S20 is kind of bonkers because it's a $1,300 camera, but it has 6.2K raw output. So if you combine it with like a Blackmagic Assist or something, you can get B-RAW from that thing, which is ridiculous that a camera that cheap can do that. Nothing about the camera. Okay, amazing. I love that I suck at streaming. Okay, let's go back to it. Okay, so yeah, going to here. Scroll down, doop, 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 doop. I don't know when I would have pressed it either. Yeah, I mentioned the like webcam thing because you got the whole UVC protocol thing, which is whatever. But yeah, you can get raw output with the XS20. The XS20 is $1,300, and yeah, you can get B-RAW up to 6.2K. So ridiculous. So what's this all about? Your live about Blackmagic things, basically. Yeah, I do. It's like my YouTube channel's like mostly dedicated to DaVinci Resolve, of course. And then when I live stream, I basically almost exclusively, and I'm streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. But I usually use the streams to edit more YouTube content. Sometimes other content if a client allows, just to allow for more teaching opportunities as well, and just to get to talk to people, to hang out and talk Resolve stuff and answer questions that people have about Resolve, that like maybe there's specific questions that people have that I haven't made a video on, or that they just need like a quick help with, or you know, we get to explore different aspects of or different like new things that we haven't like don't even know exist. So yeah. And from one Tim to another, the feelings mutual. I suck at streaming. Amazing. Yeah. I do have a question regarding the DJI mic that comes with a Pocket 3 pack. Could use some of the panel. It sounds like my hands are over my ears and really poor. Or just mic play or poor quality mic. I've had something like that. I haven't used the DJI mic, but I've had something like that where like when it's placed in a certain spot, it kind of like gets trapped, and then all of a sudden it just sounds incredibly muffled. And typically that's when you have it like clipped. Here, I'll just come up here. That's typically when you have it like clipped, when you're trying to do it like on the collar or something right here. And then it's like up against the skin. In some cases, especially if it's a smaller one, if it goes up against the skin, it can kind of like block the air from getting to it. And then, yeah, Okay, this is almost exactly the same thing I ran into then. Where if it goes up against the skin, then it can like block the airwaves or the sound waves from actually like, especially the high ones, from actually getting to it. So it sounds incredibly muffled. And also if you're clipping it like too high, like, you know, from neck area to like right above your shirt collar or something, the audio can also sound very nasally because you're catching all of that mid-range but not as much of the highs. So you actually want to get it like down in this area, like below the collar line. I mean, shotguns are great too. Lavs have their place. Like it depends on what you're doing. But the thing with shotguns is like you have to be careful with placement if you're using wider angles, because then that limits how close you can get with it. Because I mean, any mic, the closer you get, the better it's gonna sound. But yeah, that we'll call it that. The chestal region. But what was I saying before everything blew off track? Oh yeah, so like, yeah, with booms are great. You have to be more conscientious of the environment around you and what kind of room you're in, because booms will also pick up more. They'll also pick up more room noise or reverberations or reflections, because they're not as isolated. They're direct. They're what's it called? Hypercardioid, which means they're picking up stuff from one direction. And lavs are omnidirectional, but they don't have, like, they're meant to capture what's more closer to them, not what's farther away, so they do a little bit better job. And they're up against somebody, so they're already dampening a bunch of audio. But shotgun mics aren't, so they have different purposes. And this is why I get audio guys. And don't do it myself.
Especially if anything obscure. Trying to get, especially if anything obscure. Especially if anything obscures the lightsaber, we just want to make sure we get the back in front of it. Front of it from what's visible. Front of it from what's visible. From what's visible. We just want to make sure we can get the back in front of it from what's visible. If anything obscures the lightsaber, we just want to make sure obscures the lightsaber from what's visible.
Nope. It's shifty.
Obscures the lightsaber. We just want to make sure we.
About some time on to remove background noise. Yeah, I just use voice isolation and Resolve, and voice isolation actually works really well. But in cases that it doesn't, I have a couple others. Yeah, this is my next YouTube video. I'm doing a video on how to track lightsabers and Resolve using Fusion. It's like the idea being like you can track them using different forms of tracking, but you know.
That through.
You get something that looks like that. And then there's like different, I'm showing like different ways to track a lightsaber depending on what the use case is. Especially if you only have the point tracker and not the studio version of Resolve, you can track it with the free version. But yeah. This is me looking like an absolute buffoon. Would love a lightsaber. Well, I can't build one for you.
If anything
Yeah, use voice isolation and other tab with the voice component limiter. It works well enough with the normal cam, but lapel setup, nah, yeah. I did have an instance where when that muffled part did happen, I just used the that Adobe thing. Only because it was free. I would never pay for Adobe in my life. But that enhanced audio thing that you can just like upload a file to and it like does the whole AI enhanced stuff. It actually did save the audio for me, for the most part. So I usually use that if I need like a specific type of restoration that's, you know, not going to work anywhere else. Then I can just remix it again to EQ it to match the rest.
All we're trying to get, especially if anything obscures the lightsaber, get from what's visible. And now in this instance, there's going to be what's visible. And now in this instance, there's going to be.
And now in this instance. I got kids.
From what's visible. And now in this instance, there's going to be.
That is really hard to say. And now in this instance. It's a hard thing to say. I didn't set up my Be Right Back screen, did I? Nope, I did not. Oh well. I need to grab something to drink. So here's what I'm going to do. Add text. The text says BRB. Nice. Look at that. I'm a professional. All right, I'll be right back. I need to get a drink. There we go. Decided to turn the AC on too, so I'm not like sweating. Is he actually? That's so funny. No, I am your father. Oh, so good. It is close enough. Well, that's good. Gotta love it when people of that high a profile. Yeah. Real good. It is human out there, isn't it?
Now, in this instance, there's going to be several frames where we're not really going to get the track that we want. So, what's where we're not really going to get the track that we want. So, we'll have to do some hand frame adjustments. Gonna have to do some manual adjustment. So, we'll have to do some gonna have to do some. We'll have to do some. What? So. Gonna have to do some manual adjustments. We'll have to do some. Gonna have to do some. We'll have to do some manual adjustments.
You have to manually adjust what I say, too.
Where?
Let's see, can I do a thing here? I don't know how many things I can do. Oh, did I just... Oh, wait, no, it's still working. Alright, it's still connected. I thought I disconnected them. Had to flag because my kids' friends are shouting, make noises. No worries, though. It's all good. Don't worry, I have kids. I get it. What's the line? I don't know. Whose line is it anyways? Okay. Let's continue.
So we'll have to do some manual adjustments. So we're just going to
These guys. Yep. Alrighty then.
potentially. So we're just going to find the point where we can potentially continue the track and do some manual adjustments. So we're just going to find the point where we can potentially continue the track, which is probably around here. So we'll just put our tracker points back to where they originally were, making sure that we keep the correct order. That is important. So we'll put the first point here, and the second point down here, and we'll see if we can keep the point down here, and we'll see if we right here. Down here, and we'll see if we can keep continuing the track forward from the current time. And it looks like we got a pretty reasonable track here. Let's just preview it here. And there might have been a couple frames that fell off there, but we can easily compensate. We can see exactly where it sort of zooms back into place, which is right there. So we'll just go ahead and I'll speed this process up and just reframing each one of these. And I'll speed this process. We'll just go ahead and, which is right there. So we'll just go ahead and that looks like, and that's.
And this is the only time the retime curve actually makes sense.
Framing each one of these. Zooms back into place, which is right there. So we'll just go ahead and I'll speed this process up of just reframing each one of these. And that looks like those are fixed. And now we have the fixed. And now we have the frames that we don't really feel super confident in tracking because it goes behind. So we'll just go to the point where it catches up. Up. Point two, right? Yeah. The next one. It just looks like it gets mixed up.
When I talk to
Now
myself.
that we're just going to be doing manual tracking. Catches up. And so now that we're just going to be doing manual tracking, let's go ahead and make it less confusing. So let's just go ahead and disable one of the tracks so we can see. And now we have the frames that we don't really feel super confident in tracking because it goes behind. So we'll just go to the point where it catches up. And so now that we're just going to be doing manual tracking, let's go ahead and make it less confusing. So let's just go ahead and disable one of the tracks so we can see both of them at the same. So we can just see one of them at a time. See both of them at the same. So we can just disable one of the tracks so we can see one of the tracks. So we can just see tracks. So we can just see the track. So we can just. So we can just one of the tracks. So we can just disable one of the tracks. So we can just see. So we can just one of the tracks. So we can just see one of them at a time. One of the tracks. So we can just see one of the tracks. So we can just see one of them at a time. And we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and skim frame by frame until we notice it pop off. Which is right here. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this point. And we can just get that tracker out of the way. And we'll move these points.
Oh.
And you can tell which frame it's on because the...
Ooh. Yeah, smoothing of the curve is a little weird. It's never been that intuitive. 3 minutes behind. Whoops. That's when you press the fast forward button or refresh. Yeah, pro tip with YouTube streams is if you increase the playback speed to like 1.25 or 1.5, it'll slowly catch up to like as close to live as it can get, which is like just a couple seconds. Did I get the voice done? This video, and there's still like a lot to cut.
And we'll move these points. And you can tell which frame it's on because the current point that it's pointing to will have these arrows on it, so it shows that it's the current frame.
Voiceover, yeah. Well, I mean, technically it's not a voiceover because I recorded my camera too.
The current point that it's pointing to will have these arrows on it, so that shows that it's the current.
So it's going to be like a camera in the lower corner. Yes. Yeah. I've tried it the other way where I record the whole UI and then just speak over it. Funny enough, it actually got harder to do because I had to time everything then because I didn't know how I was going to time it otherwise. So saying it in real time made it, has just always been the easiest, even though I suck at it.
It shows that it's the current frame. One important thing to note is that on these arrows on it, so that shows that it's the current frame. It's the current frame. One important thing to note is that on this point, we can see that the lightsaber pops out just a little bit right here, so I'm just going to track that point here as well.
I was like, wonder what that big audio waveform is. I forgot about that. Yeah. Well, Dan's still here because he heard that. You know what's funny? Yeah, 10. Wasn't bad. I actually got a comment on the very first video I ever posted. Well, not the very first video I ever posted, but the first video on this channel for tutorials. I got a comment like yesterday about this thing because my first video I kept a burp in. And somebody made a comment on it, like, and this was more than 4 years ago, right? This is over 4 years ago, and like, I love this video, but you burped in it. That was gross. Okay. So, like, I'm honored that you're commenting on a video that's over 4 years old. Yeah, here it is. Right here. Bro, I love this. Why did you have to burp in our ear? Gross. Oh, it's so good. I just responded because I was a lot dumber 4 years ago. I came here to say this. Yes. Oh, I forgot to include the discount codes. Or the discount code, not codes. At least it wasn't a fart. It's true. I wouldn't keep that in. Guys, I'm a child.
That point here as well.
Depends on the quality. Yeah, it's got to be a quality burp.
And in a case where we have a lot of motion here as well. And in a case where we have a lot of motion blur, typically trying to find the middle point of that motion blur is the best option. And with that one,
set both of these to 800. Right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull up YouTube chat on this monitor so I'm not looking up constantly. It's going to throw you guys off because I'm going to look at chat in a completely different spot. Whoa. What you going to do about it? Alexa, well, I could probably ask Alex too, to be honest. Mr. Alex Belch. Guys, what's wrong with me? We're all children here. You know, the best part is that actually I probably shouldn't even I shouldn't even hint at it yet. You guys will just see. Yeah, I'm not even gonna hint at it. I'm not even gonna hint at it. You'll see it when it comes. It's funny, you're gonna be like, what's this grand thing he's playing? It's just gonna be like a little bit. And then it's gonna be over and then I won't.
like it does. And with that one, it should catch up and start to connect, and it looks like it does. It does. And now to correct the second point.
That noises. Siri won't play them? That's a bummer.
And once again with this point, because this is the early...
I don't have voice to text. Or text to voice, I should say. That might be a fun thing to set up too. That should be on the next stream. I have redeems on both YouTube and Twitch, but the redeems are different for both. But you gotta subscribe to listen to them. Just kidding, I wouldn't do that. Mostly. That's probably way out of sync. I don't know how. I don't know what the sync is for the music. It's in sync for me. Get it? Because there is none. But what?
point.
Do.
And once again with this point, because this is the earliest part that's showing, we're not trying to guess exactly where it is. We only want the parts that are showing. And with that, it looks like we...
Hey, Audio Gary. Stream is certainly going. We're making stuff happen. We've had burps, we've had farts, we've had all the childish things. It's been great. How about you?
Showing. And with that, it looks... that are showing. And with that, it's that are showing. And with that, it looks like we got a complete track here. Okay. So if we highlight both of these,
It's been a series of up and down through tonight. Oh, that's unfortunate. Hopefully things are getting better though.
so if we highlight both of these,
Also, Quiznet, what I just not thought to ask this, but so that tip that I showed on the ResolveCon announcement video for Fusion, that outline thing, had you not seen that before? I figured it was one that wasn't that common. The only other time I've ever mentioned it on a public setting was in the thumbnail video, but I don't, you know, that one wasn't viewed as much, so I was like, well, could just do that. No, I'm talking to Quiznan on the YouTube side. That's why I put the chat overlay on so that people could see both sides. I'm sure I did it live at one point. I might have done it the first live stream, but again, that's a live stream, so I hadn't done it. Like, somebody would have to go searching for it. Yep. Yeah, they're in a chat where you have no power. Yeah, I'm sure I've done it live, but I don't know if I've ever, like, outside of the thumbnail video, I don't think I've ever done it on different recording. And the thumbnail video was really long, so I just, yeah. The option for color and blurring. Yeah, I think I did a little better job of showcasing it for this one because it was a specific tip to that. For the, I think, the color generator one, the color generator part of it was not in the thumbnail video. So that part of it was new. Anyone who supports him is good in my book. Thanks, Audio Gary.
So if we highlight both of these, zoom out. So if we highlight these, zoom out.
Okay, delete that, and then let's reference like a small different part of it.
Right here. So if we highlight both of these, zoom out.
Oh, did that not? Oh.
For these, here. So if we highlight both of these, zoom out.
That works.
Zoom out. We watch all the way through. It looks like both. Out. We watch all the way through. It looks like both points stick to that lightsaber pretty well. Oh, except for one point that I missed apparently. Except for one point that I missed. They were pretty well. Oh, except for one point that I missed apparently. There we go. One point that I missed apparently. There we go. That's better. There we go. That's better. Apparently. There we go. That's better. Apparently. There we go. That's better. That's better. And that's better. And now how do we use these points?
Yeah, because they would be pointless without it.
Well, it's actually somewhat simple. The
funny thing is, I almost didn't do the Fairlight one. The only reason I did it was because I still had not seen anybody else do that. I'm sure somebody else has tried it, but I was like, I looked at anybody that did video, not anybody, I'm sure there was tons of people I didn't watch, but you know, I looked at people who talked about the music remixer and no one mentioned just duplicating the track and making it 5 times and then just setting each one to a different stem, because that works. And then you can just EQ and add reverb to certain tracks and basically have stems for a song that doesn't have stems. So I was like, I might as well throw this in there. I know it's a studio only effect, but you know, it's still cool. And then the color one was actually the one I was most excited about, honestly. That's the first thing you thought about? There you go. I'm glad somebody was.
Well, it's actually somewhat simple. We're just going to...
Well, I think it's because we were talking about it on a different stream, weren't we, Gary? Like way back? Because I haven't streamed in like 2 months. Maybe more.
To add...
Yeah, I think we did talk about it. And I was like, I still had not seen a video talking about that potential. So I was like, well, I'll just throw it in here, I guess. It's not like groundbreaking enough to make it its own video. So I just threw it in as a, like, here are a few bonus tips. Yeah, we were, and it just never came about because I was pulling too many all-nighters. Well, not quite all-nighters, but late nights. And it just was rough. Later, Dan. Thank you so much for hanging out. Have a good night. Have a whiskey sour on me, or for me, not on me. I can't pay you. Gotta remember to check this once it's published. Thanks for the content. Absolutely, Team Pandora. How's it going? Why did I say it? I was about to like greet you as if you hadn't been here this whole time. Appreciate you stopping in. Have a good night.
To add...
That's when you know it's time for me to get off. I want to at least get through this cut though. It shouldn't take too long because this part was like the longest. The rest of it's not.
To add a background in front.
Yeah, I want to play with it soon. I just have so much that I need to take care of right now, which sucks, but you know it is. I'm in Japan, so what? Oh. Well, there you go. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by. Have a good time. Good day, good evening, good morning, good night. I don't know what time it is in Japan.
Well, we're just going to add a background in front of this color space transform here, just by clicking on the color space transform and then clicking on the background. We're just going to add a background in front of this color space transform here, just by clicking on the color space transform and then clicking on the background node here. And then on this background, we're just going to the background node here. And then on this background, we're just going to add a polygon node. We're just going to space transform and then click in front of this color space. It's somewhat simple. We're just going to add a background in front of this color space transform here, just by clicking on the color space transform and then clicking on the background node here. And then on this background, and then clicking on the background node here. And then on this background, we're just going to add a polygon node. We're just going to go ahead and make this background white as well, just for ease of use. And with this polygon, we just need to make 2 points. Doesn't matter where they are, because that's irrelevant. And then we're going to use where they are, because that's irrelevant. Ease of use. And with this polygon, we just for ease of use.
What did I even say?
Background. We're just going to add a polygon node. We're just going to go and make this background white as well, just for ease of use. And with this polygon, we just need to make 2 points. Doesn't matter where they are, because it's relevant. And then we're going to use this insert and modify key. And then we're going to use this insert and modify button. Then we're going to use this. And then we'll just make sure we switch to insert and mod, because that's irrelevant. And then we're going to use this insert. And then we'll dark, because that's irrelevant. And then we'll just make sure we switch to insert and modify, just so we can select the points. So I'm going to select the first point here, right click, polygon, polyline, go to publish, publish to, tracker 1, position. position. Right, one position. And now we can do the same thing with the other point. We can do just highlight it, right click, pilot line. I can word this. Publish to pilot line. Just highlight it, right click, pilot line. I can words. Line, I can words. Publish to, and then the track point 2 path.
I've never seen Star Wars. Which one of these guys wins and saves the princess? I do. I mean, he's only there for the droid.
I'm here for the droid.
See, he's there for the droid. There's your left ear for you. Here, let me give you the ultimate immersive experience here.
I'm here for the droid.
That was not the ultimate immersive. Meant to do this.
I'm here for the droid.
There you go. Are you here for the droid? I actually kind of like his face up there. I'm just going to keep that there for the rest of the video.
Path. And now we see that the polygon is basically bound to the lightsaber here. And then in order to make the background show up, we just
Absolutely perfect. It's like I was there, kidnapping the droid myself. He's rescuing it. This guy stole it.
Good, Sam? Okay.
There you go. All right, Aquizan, thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great night. And I will see you in the next one. I'm gonna try and be streaming somewhat more. When I can. Ideally I'm doing these once a week. That's my goal. I don't know if I'm gonna do that, but that's my goal. Because I mean, I used to do it a lot more on Twitch, but now that I have an easier capability to just do multi-streaming and get Twitch and YouTube, might as well just do that. So I think I'm just gonna make it happen. So when I do stream on Twitch, then I can also stream on YouTube. It's helpful to watch someone else edit. Well, there you go. I didn't get to edit quite as much tonight. I mean, I'm still going, of course, but you know, it's fun to just like banter around and like explore different things. So if I could make this like almost like an extended grade school, that would be fun. Like if we just, if it became a thing where there was enough people in here where it was just like, I'm just in here answering people's questions and whatnot, I'd be so down for that. Especially if YouTube continues to grow. And if I, you know, actually start posting more videos, then I would definitely make it more of a regular thing.
some border width.
Problem is, like, the weird thing with streaming on YouTube is I have to make a thumbnail for the stream, and that's weird. There's those kinds of streams. I don't have many questions, but I like learning from everyone else's questions. Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy them.
Then we can see we have a track here. We just add some border width. Then we can see we have a track here.
Tom Buck has been doing them more recently as well. Tom Buck, is he the guy? Wait a minute. I know I've heard that name. Oh, maybe it's not who I thought it was. Okay, never mind.
Of a track here, and this is why we also didn't want to have it show the rest of it in between, because then we would have to mask that out, and this just saves some masking time. And then if we needed to go back for any reason and fix any of the tracking points, and fix any of the tracking points, we can always just go back to the tracker itself and then find that point and move it, and you can see exactly what that's doing. Pivot, and you can see that point and move it. You can see exactly what that's doing. Move it, and it fixes it for the polygon as well. It fixes it for the polygon as well. None of the polygon, we can do things like add motion blur so that it looks like it's actually moving with it. Maybe add it so that it looks like it's actually moving with it. Blur so that it looks like it's actually moving. Nope. Blur so that it looks like it's actually moving with it. Maybe add a little bit of color to it as well. Blur so that it looks like it's actually moving with it. Maybe add a little bit of color to it as well. And if we wanted to add some glow to it, we have options like either glow. We have options like either glow.
Keep hearing thumping.
Like either glow or soft glow. Either one works, and you can pick and choose as you want. We can throw glow in here and reduce the size. Add here. We have options like either glow or soft glow. Either one works, and you can pick and choose as you want. We can throw glow in here and reduce the size. We can put glow in here. Add glow in here and reduce the size. Add the glow so that it gets that hot bar center. And we can even just use glow so center. And we can even
You got an ASMR in here because I just no, I don't have any of them in my ear right now. I just have the music. Not listening to any of them right now.
And we can even just use the glow as the color if we want to make the background pure white, and then go to the color scale of the glow and bring down the green and red scale, and then we got blue there as well. There's a number of ways to do it. That's one way with glow. You can also try the soft glow here. Here. Again, with the color scale, just bringing down green and red. Bringing down glow size just a bit. Make it really shine. Red, bringing down glow size just a bit. Make it really shine. Really shine. And if we watch that through, doesn't look half bad. Doesn't look half bad. And again, you can play. Doesn't look half bad. And again, you can play with different parameters with if you wanted to add a little bit more soft edge or a tiny bit of soft edge to the polygon itself. Play with the color of more soft edge or a tiny bit of soft edge, a little bit more soft edge with if you wanted to add edge or a tiny bit of soft edge parameters with if you wanted to add a little bit or tiny if you wanted to add a little bit add a little bit of soft edge to the add a little bit of soft add a little bit of soft edge or a little bit more add a little bit of soft edge to the polygon itself. Play with the color of the background and maybe add a little bit of supporting colors. You can do whatever you want. But that's method number one. Now we're going to move on to the next clip here, which offers a little bit more, which adds a little bit here, which adds a little bit more strategy in how you would actually even shoot this in the first place. So let's go ahead into Fusion here. I have some of this already built out, but I'm just going to go ahead and take away everything but the color space transforms, highlight all of them, control click the color space transform. I'm just going to shift this off so we can see what we're actually looking at. Now we have this very cheap plastic lightsaber and it has tracking points on it. And I also just filmed this with, let me press F to full screen that. Filmed this and I also just ended up on it. And it has tracking points on it. And I also just filmed this with, let me press F to full screen that. And I also just ended up using a higher shutter speed so that when it moves really fast, we don't have any motion blur. And this can make your tracking easy, and then we can just add some motion blur back in post. Now granted, it's not going to look as good as if you had natural motion blur, but we can still work with it. So once again, first thing I make sure I go in my camera. So again, first thing I just make sure I go from camera space to Rec 709 linear, and then we just have a preview of Rec 709 Gamma 2.4 for the preview output.
Oh boy, I might have to call it pretty soon.
Preview output. So we're going to work in linear, and I'm going to go ahead and just add a tracker here. And instead of add a tracker here. And instead of a teletrack, we're going to use the point tracker. And I'm going to add two of them here. Tracker, and I'm going to add two of them here. Now, if you're on the free version, this will be 0.1 and 0.2, and you know, I love discrepancies because they're so fun to explain. So fun to explain. All right, so we're going to bring in our track center here. Just find the center. Discrepancies because they're so fun to explain. And you know, I love discrepancies. On the version, this will be 0.1 and 0.2, and you know, I love discrepancies because they're so fun to explain. All right, so we're going to bring in our track center here, just find the center. We can also look at our preview right here on the side to see exactly what we're looking at. We basically just want to get this point by itself. Just want to get this point by itself. Now, because this move moves a lot, we're going to want to make this a pretty big box, because from frame to frame it can move pretty significantly. Another way you can mitigate this is if you shoot at a higher frame rate and then either slow it down in post, or you just play it back at a higher speed, especially if you're planning on, especially if you're shooting back at a higher speed, especially if you're
Oh my word.
speed, especially if you're playing on speed, especially if you're shooting at a higher speed, especially if you're shooting at a higher shutter speed anyways and planning on adding motion in post, or you just play it back at a higher speed, especially if you're shooting at a higher shutter speed anyways and planning on adding motion blur in post, you can potentially get away with that. And that would make this track a little bit easier. But we are going to make a large scanning area. Now for this one, this side doesn't move as much, and once again I'm going to just get this plus inside of here, and don't have to scan as big of an area because this side doesn't move quite as much. Now I want to talk a little bit about the going to make a large scanning area. Now for this one, this side doesn't move as much, and once again I'm going to just get this plus. This side doesn't move as. Now for this one, this side doesn't move, and once again I'm going to just catch. Now I want to talk a little bit about don't have to scan as big of an area because this side doesn't move quite as much. Plus inside, we are going to make essentially a large scanning area. Now for this one, this side doesn't move as much, and once again I'm going to just get this plus inside of here, and but we are going to make a large scanning area. Now for this one, this side doesn't move as much, and once again I'm going to just get. But we are going to make a large scanning area. Now for this one, this side doesn't move as much. This side doesn't move as much, and once again I'm going to just get this plus in. For this one, this side doesn't move as much, and once again I'm going to just get this plus inside of here, and don't have to scan as big of an area because this side doesn't move. For this one, this don't have to scan, and this side doesn't move. Don't have to scan as big of an area.
I'm starting to lose my train of thought like pretty quick. I'm not gonna finish this tonight. I'm getting like really tired. It's like hitting me like a rock right now. I was gonna try and make it a little bit farther, but I'm like hearing words and then not being able to process it. So I am shutting down. Is anybody to raid tonight? Doesn't look like it. Oh, well, I can do what I always do. What we do in this case is we look for editors to raid. That aren't editing in Premiere. To be clear. What is this? I don't even know what that one is. Aha! I found one. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Because we're on both YouTube and Twitch, I'm gonna raid on Twitch. And then on YouTube, I'll just post it in chat. That's where we're going.
Hey! Where?
Oh, of course I set my own thing off. That's funny. All right. We're gonna go off to this guy because I am tired and ready to go to bed. But anyways, got a Resolve editor. Let's see what they're working on. It looks like it's a commercial, so let's go check it out. Join me in the raid. I will see you guys later. Bye now. You guys are awesome.